The council chamber stretched wider than any stadium on Earth. Thousands of beings from hundreds of worlds filled the space with their strange shapes and stranger sounds. Some had scales, others had fur, and a few seemed to be made of light itself. They all gathered here to decide the fate of entire star systems. Day One sat in the small human section near the back. He wore a simple gray suit and kept his hands folded on his lap. For 20 years, he had sat in this exact spot, watching and listening. He never raised his hand to vote. He never stood to speak. The other species barely noticed him anymore. Next to him, Gon typed notes on her tablet. She was young, maybe 30, with sharp eyes that missed nothing. She had learned 47 alien languages in her time here. Every word spoken in this chamber, she understood and recorded. On the main floor, a tall creature with 6 arms was speaking. Its voice came out in clicks and whistles, but the translation device made it sound smooth. The primitive worlds must be guided, it said. They destroy their own planets with pollution and war. They are children playing with matches. Several aliens nodded their various heads in agreement. Some made sounds that the translator called laughter. Day One's face showed nothing. He had heard this speech 100 times before, aimed at 100 different worlds. The council loved to talk about primitive species. It made them feel superior. G-1 leaned close and whispered, "The Vethric delegate is proposing new oversight protocols. They want to monitor 15 worlds, including Earth."
All day?
One nodded slightly. He had expected this. The Vethric were always trying to expand their influence. The council moved to the next topic. A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber, showing Earth's solar system. Beautiful blue and white Earth spinning slowly. Mars, with its red dust. Jupiter with its massive storms. "We've detected rich mineral deposits in the asteroid belt of System Sol 3, announced a floating jellyfish-like being. The native species has barely explored beyond their home planet. We propose harvesting operations to begin within 6 standard cycles. Day One felt G1 tense beside him. The asteroid belt belonged to Earth's solar system. No one had asked humanity's permission. Any objections? The council leader asked. It was a formality. No one ever objected. Day One remained seated and silent. Several aliens glanced at the human section with amusement. The quiet little species from the edge of the galaxy was never saying a word. After the session ended, Day One walked through the station's corridors with G1. Other delegates passed them without acknowledgement. To most of the galaxy, humans were furniture. Should we file a formal protest? G1 asked quietly. No, Day One said. Send the mining proposal to Taeyang. He will want to see it. Back on Earth, in a facility hidden beneath the mountains of Korea, Taeyang received the message. He was a thin man with gray hair and eyes that always seemed to be calculating something. Around him, thousands of people worked at computer stations, analyzed alien technology, and planned for scenarios that most humans could not imagine. Taeyang pulled up the mining proposal on his screen. He studied the coordinates, the timeline, and the ships the aliens planned to use. Then he smiled. They still think we are blind, he said to his assistant. They still think we are helpless. Should we activate the defense grid? The assistant asked. Not yet. But begin moving the fleet into position, quietly. Hidden in the dark spaces between planets, human ships began to move. They used no lights. Their engines made no heat signature that alien sensors could detect. 20 years of studying alien technology had taught humanity many useful tricks. Back at the council station, Daewon sat in his small quarters and reviewed reports. Ju-1 had sent him everything the aliens had said about Earth in the past month. Most of it was dismissive. Some of it was insulting. The council saw humanity as a curiosity, nothing more. His communication device buzzed. Taeyong's face appeared on the screen. The mining ships will arrive in 3 months, Taeyong said. We will be ready. Any military escorts? Day One asked. Yes, the council is sending 6 warships. They expect no resistance. Daewon allowed himself a small smile. They never do. Should we show them what we have built? Not yet. Let them come. Let them see that we notice. but we wait for the right moment. Taeyong nodded, and the screen went dark. Daewon stood and walked to his window. The council station orbited a beautiful green planet that reminded him of Earth. Somewhere down there, an alien species lived under council protection. They had been told they needed guidance. They had been told they were too primitive to make their own choices. Now they built what the council wanted, followed the rules the council made, and forgot what it meant to be free. Day-1 would not let that happen to Earth. The next day in the council chamber, G1 noticed something interesting. During a discussion about territorial boundaries, one of the elder species made a comment. The Jantari were an ancient race, older than most of the council combined. Their delegate rarely spoke. The silent species are often the most dangerous, the Jantari said. We forget this at our peril. Several council members looked confused. A few glanced at the human section, but the moment passed quickly, and the discussion moved on. G-1 made a note. The Jantari knew something. Perhaps they had been watching humanity more carefully than the others. That evening, Daewon received another message from Earth. The defense satellites were in position, the fleet was ready, and the civilian population had no idea that anything unusual was happening. That was how humanity wanted it. No panic, no drama. Just quiet preparation. Daewon looked at his calendar. 3 months until the mining ships arrived. 3 months until the galaxy learned that Earth's silence had never been weakness. It had been patience. Outside his window, the stars shone with the light of 1 billion worlds. The council thought they ruled this galaxy. They thought their age and technology made them superior. Soon they would learn the truth. Earth had been watching. Earth had been learning. And Earth was ready. Daewon closed his eyes and thought of home. Green mountains. Ocean waves. Cities full of life and noise. His people deserved respect. They deserved to be treated as equals. And if the council would not offer respect freely, then humanity would take it. The countdown had begun. 3 months passed like water through fingers. The council chamber filled once again with delegates from across the galaxy. Today was different. Today felt heavier. Even the air seemed to know that something important was about to happen. Daewon took his usual seat. Gi-1 sat beside him, her tablet ready. But today, 3 more humans joined them. Hiram wore a crisp military uniform with no medals or rank visible. Her short hair and steady eyes gave nothing away. The other 2 were scientists who had worked with Taeyang. The council leader floated to the center platform. It was a massive creature that looked like a combination of an octopus and a tree. Its voice echoed through the translation system. We gather for a special session, it announced. Today, we address the status of species humanity from planet Earth. Daewon felt every alien eye turn toward the human section. This was unexpected. The mining operation was one thing, but a special session about humanity's status was something else entirely. A hologram appeared showing Earth and its solar system. Then images of human cities, human wars, human pollution, and human conflicts played for everyone to see. The Council has reviewed the developmental progress of species humanity, the leader continued. After careful analysis, we have determined that this species requires guidance and oversight. Gi-1's fingers stopped moving on her tablet. Hiram's jaw tightened just slightly. An insect-like alien stood on 6 legs. Its voice came out in buzzes. The humans fight among themselves constantly. They poison their own air and water. They cannot even unite their own planet under one government. They are clearly not ready for galactic society. Greed, said another voice. A reptilian creature with golden scales gestured with clawed hands. We have observed them for 20 years. They sit silent in our council, learning nothing, contributing nothing. They are primitives who stumbled into space travel by accident. More voices joined in. Each one listed humanity's failures. Each one described Earth as a problem that needed fixing. The words stung. But they were not the worst part. The worst part was the laughter. When one delegate said humans had lifespans barely longer than insects, several species laughed. When another called humanity amusing little warriors playing with sharp sticks, the laughter grew louder A blue-skinned humanoid stood up. Its face had too many eyes. I propose we place developmental restrictions on Earth. No expansion beyond their home system. No independent trade agreements. No military vessels beyond basic defense. And a council oversight team stationed on Earth to guide their progress? Seconded, said another voice. All in favor? The council leader asked. Hands, tentacles, claws, and other appendages rose throughout the chamber. The vote was overwhelming. Earth would be placed under council control. Day 1 stood up. The movement was so unusual that the entire chamber fell silent. For 20 years, the human delegate had never stood during a session. Many aliens had forgotten humans could stand. The chair recognizes the delegate from Earth, the council leader said, sounding surprised. Day 1 walked slowly to the speaking platform. His footsteps echoed in the massive chamber. When he reached the center, he looked around at thousands of alien faces. Some showed curiosity. Most showed amusement. Thank you for your concern, Day 1 said. His voice was calm and quiet. For 20 years, I have sat in this chamber and listened. I have learned much about the galactic community, and you understand why oversight is necessary, the insect delegate said. I understand that you believe humans are primitive, Day 1 replied. I understand that you see our conflicts and judge us weak. I understand that you think silence means ignorance. He paused and looked directly at the council leader. You are wrong. A ripple of surprise moved through the chamber. No one spoke to the council this way. Humanity rejects your authority over Earth, Day 1 continued. We reject your oversight. We reject your restrictions. And we reject your judgment of our species. The reptilian delegate laughed, a harsh sound that the translator turned into something like grinding metal. You reject the council. You and what army, little human? Day 1 smiled. It was not a kind smile. An army you cannot see, he said. Technology you do not understand. And patience you cannot imagine. Is this a threat? The council leader asked. Its voice had lost its amusement. No, Day 1 said. It is a statement of fact. Humanity will govern itself. Our solar system is ours. And if you send your mining ships or your oversight teams, you will find that Earth is no longer the quiet observer you think we are. Possible, the blue-skinned humanoid said. We have monitored your technological development. You have primitive fusion drives and basic weapons. You pose no threat to any council species. You have monitored what we allowed you to see, Day 1 corrected. For 20 years, we have sat here learning everything about you. Your languages, your technologies, your tactics, your weaknesses. The Gentari delegate, the ancient one who rarely spoke, made a sound that might have been a sigh. I warned the council, it said quietly. Warnings are meaningless, the insect delegate snapped. This species is bluffing. They have nothing. Day 1 looked at G1. She tapped her tablet. Suddenly, every screen in the council chamber changed. Data flowed across the displays. Ship designs. Weapons specifications. Defense grids. Technologies that should not exist. This is impossible, someone whispered. Where did they get Day 1? Let them process what they were seeing. Human ships that could move faster than anything the council possessed. Shields that could absorb energy weapons. And most disturbing of all, detailed files on every council species' military capabilities. We have been good students, Day 1 said. You have been excellent teachers, even if you did not know you were teaching us. The council leader's appendages writhed in agitation. This is a violation of council protocols. You spied on us, he observed, Day 1 corrected. Just as you observed us. The difference is that we learned from what we saw. He turned to face the entire assembly. Humanity came to this council as students. We listened. We studied. We improved ourselves. And now we stand before you as equals. If you cannot accept that, then we will demonstrate it. Are you declaring war on the council? The reptilian delegate demanded. We are declaring independence, Day 1 said. War is your choice, not ours. But I warn you, if you choose conflict, you will lose.
Ow.
The chamber erupted in angry voices. Delegates shouted over each other. Some called for immediate military action. Others demanded proof of human capabilities. A few, mostly the elder species, sat in thoughtful silence. Dewan walked back to his seat. Hiram leaned close and whispered, "The fleet is ready. They are waiting for your signal." "Not yet," Dewan replied. "Let them make the first move," the council leader called for order. It took several minutes for the chamber to quiet down. "The council will discuss this matter in private session," it announced. "Delegate Day 1, you and your people will wait for our decision." "Take all the time you need," Day 1 said. "But know this. Earth's answer will not change." As the session ended and delegates filed out, many of them stared at the human section with new eyes. The quiet species was quiet no more, and the galaxy would never be the same. 20-4 hours after Day 1's speech, the council made their decision. They would send an enforcement fleet to Earth's solar system. 12 warships carrying enough firepower to destroy a planet. The council believed humans were bluffing. They would teach Earth a lesson about respect. The fleet commander was a Voroth named Krell. He had fought in 30 battles and conquered 15 systems. His ship, the Dominator, was the size of a small moon. When his fleet entered Earth's solar system, he expected immediate surrender. What he found instead made him check his sensors 3 times. "Commander," his sensor officer said, "we are detecting multiple contacts. At least 50 vessels in defensive formation around the 3rd planet." Krell studied the display. Human ships arranged in perfect military formation, each one broadcasting active weapon signatures. Their shields were powered and ready. "Impossible," Krell said. "The humans barely have fusion technology. These readings show antimatter drives and quantum shielding." "Confirmed, sir. The readings are accurate." Krell opened a communication channel. "This is Commander Krell of the Galactic Council Enforcement Fleet. You are ordered to power down your weapons and allow us to proceed with council mandates." The response came immediately. A human woman's face appeared on his screen. She had short, dark hair and eyes that looked like they had seen battle before. "Commander Krell, this is Captain Sun He of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are currently in violation of Earth's sovereign space. Power down your weapons and withdraw, or you will be removed." Krell laughed. "Removed? By whom exactly?" "By us," Sun He said calmly. "You have 60 seconds to comply. You dare threaten a council fleet?" Krell's voice rose in anger. "I have 12 warships, each one powerful enough to destroy your entire planet." 59 seconds, Sun He replied. Krell cut the transmission. "All ships, advance. Weapons hot. Show these primitives what real power looks like." The council fleet moved forward in attack formation. It was an impressive sight. 12 massive warships, their hulls glowing with charged weapons. The human ships did not retreat. Instead, they moved with impossible speed, breaking their formation and surrounding the council fleet in seconds. "How are they moving that fast?" Krell's tactical officer shouted. Before anyone could answer, every system on the Dominator shut down. Lights went dark. Weapons went offline. Even life support flickered. The massive warship became a floating piece of dead metal. "What happened?" Krell demanded. "Electromagnetic pulse, sir. But unlike anything in our database, it passed right through our shields." On the bridge of the Indomitable, Captain Sun He watched her screens with satisfaction. Every council ship was disabled. Not destroyed, just helpless. The human fleet had surrounded them without firing a single weapon that could cause casualties. She opened a channel to all council ships. "Commander Krell, your vessels are now under Earth's control. We have disabled your weapons, engines, and offensive capabilities. Life support remains functional because we are not murderers." A young pilot named Wu Jin flew his fighter close to the Dominator's bridge. His ship was small and fast, dancing around the massive warship like a bird around a tree. He activated his external speakers. "Commander Krell, you are now being boarded. Please offer no resistance." Sun He and a team of Marines used transport technology to appear directly on the Dominator's bridge. The Vorath crew reached for weapons, but Sun He raised her hand. "Out," she said. "We don't want to hurt you. We just want you to understand something important." Krell stared at her. This human woman had just disabled his entire fleet in seconds. She stood on his bridge like she owned it. "What are you?" he asked. "We are humans, son," he said, "and we have been preparing for this moment for 20 years. She gestured, and a hologram appeared showing Earth's solar system. But this time, it revealed what had been hidden. Thousands of defense satellites, underground shipyards, orbital weapons platforms, and a fleet 3 times larger than what the Council had detected. Krell whispered. "We monitored your development. We watched your progress. We watched what we wanted you to see," son, he explained. "While your sensors looked at our cities and our primitive ships, we built this, underground, in secret. Using everything we learned from watching you." She walked around the bridge, examining the Vorath technology. "Your shields are impressive, but they only block energy from outside. We developed a pulse that mimics your own ship's energy signature. Your shields thought we were you," clever Krell admitted grudgingly. "We learned from the best, son," he said. "Every species in the Council taught us something. The Vethric taught us about energy manipulation. The Gentari showed us quantum mechanics. The Vorath demonstrated military tactics. And you used our own knowledge against us," he learned. Soon he corrected. "There is a difference." Back on Earth, in the underground facility, Taeyang watched the situation unfold on massive screens. Around him, technicians monitored every ship, every system, every piece of technology they had built. A woman named Kyung Ho approached him. She was the chief scientist who had led the development of Earth's defense grid. "The Council ships are completely disabled," she reported. "No casualties. All crew members are safe." "Good," Taeyang said. "We are not conquerors. We are protectors. What happens now? Now we show them who we really are."
Yes.
On the Dominator, Sun He offered Krell a seat. The Vorath commander looked uncomfortable sitting in his own chair, while a human stood over him. "I will give you a choice, son," he said. "Option 1. You report back to the Council that you encountered an unexpected defense and were forced to withdraw. No one dies today, and this becomes a diplomatic matter. And Option 2. We demonstrate just how much we learned from you. And trust me, Commander, you do not want Option 2. Krell studied the human captain. She was not threatening. She was simply stating facts. Behind her, human Marines stood ready, but not aggressive. Outside, human ships surrounded his fleet with weapons that could destroy them all, but they had not fired. They had disabled, not destroyed. These humans could have killed his entire crew, but they chose not to. "Why did you not destroy us?" Krell asked. "You clearly have the capability." Son, he smiled. "Because we are not like you. We don't attack first. We don't conquer for sport. We defend ourselves, and we demand respect. But we are not killers." She walked to the viewport and looked out at Earth, a blue jewel floating in the darkness. "For 20 years, we sat quietly in your council. We listened to your insults. We watched you laugh at us. And we learned everything we needed to learn." She turned back to Krell. "You called us primitive. You said, we fight among ourselves and destroy our planet. You were right. We do have conflicts. We do have problems. But we also have something you lack." "What is that?" "The ability to learn from our mistakes, and the wisdom to know that strength without honor is worthless." Krell was silent for a long moment. Then he stood and saluted, a gesture of respect that the Vorath only gave to equals. "I choose Option 1, he said. "I will report that Earth's defenses are more advanced than anticipated." "Thank you, son," he said. "Your ships will be released once you have left our solar system. Consider this a lesson in humility." Hours later, the Council fleet limped away from Earth's space. Their systems came back online as they passed the boundary. Behind them, the human fleet remained in perfect formation. Watching them go, Wujin flew one final patrol around Earth before returning to base. He looked at his home planet and felt pride. Humanity had been tested and had passed. The Council would never look at Earth the same way again. The quiet observers had shown their teeth, and they had done it without becoming the monsters they fought against. On the Council station, news of the failed enforcement spread quickly. Delegates gathered in small groups, whispering and arguing. Some demanded military action. Others counseled caution. And in his small quarters, Daewon received a message from Sunhee. One word: success. He smiled and looked out at the stars. Earth had stayed silent for 20 years. But now, the galaxy would hear humanity's voice loud and clear. The council chamber had never been so quiet. Even the usual whispers and small conversations had stopped. Every delegate sat in tense silence, waiting for the emergency session to begin. Daewon entered with 20 humans behind him. Captain Sunhee walked on his right, still wearing her military uniform. Commander Hiram was on his left. Behind them came scientists, diplomats, and military advisors. They walked with confidence, heads high. No longer the quiet observers sitting in the back. The human delegation took positions on the main floor, not in their usual section. No one stopped them. No one dared. The council leader floated to the center, its appendages moving in agitated patterns. The council recognizes the delegation from Earth. We have received Commander Krell's report. His fleet was ... disabled. Humiliated is the word you are looking for. The reptilian delegate hissed. 12 warships defeated without a single shot fired. This is unprecedented. Daewon stepped forward. We did not defeat your fleet. We simply showed them that attacking Earth would be unwise. You used technology that should not exist, the insect delegate buzzed angrily. You clearly stole council designs. A woman stepped forward from the human group. Her name was Young Mi, and she had spent 15 years studying galactic law and diplomacy. She spoke with a voice that carried authority. We stole nothing. We observed, learned, and improved. There is no law against innovation. Or did the council forget that progress is supposed to be encouraged? Progress. The blue-skinned humanoid laughed bitterly. You built a secret military fleet. You deceived us for 20 years. You are not innovators. You are liars. Another human stepped forward. Jinho was a historian, a thin man with glasses who had spent his entire adult life studying alien civilizations. He carried a data tablet that made several delegates shift uncomfortably. May I present some interesting historical facts? Ginho asked politely. The Vethric Empire rose to power by secretly developing plasma weapons while pretending to be peaceful traders. The Koroth Collective built their first warships in hidden asteroid bases. The Zelthari dynasty used espionage to steal technology from 6 other species before claiming it as their own innovation. He looked around the chamber with a gentle smile. Shall I continue? I have detailed records of every major species in this council. Your wars, your deceptions, your secret weapons programs. Humanity studied all of you very carefully. The chamber erupted in angry voices. Delegates shouted at Jinho, at each other, at the humans. But underneath the anger was something else: fear. The council leader called for order. It took several minutes for the noise to die down. What do you want? It asked Daewon directly. Why are you here? Hiram answered. She was a military commander, and her voice had the hard edge of someone who had made life and death decisions. We want what every species wants: respect, safety, the right to control our own destiny, and if we refuse, the reptilian delegate challenged. Then you will find human ships in orbit around 17 council homeworlds, Hiram said calmly. Not attacking, not threatening, just present, just watching, just learning more about you. The chamber fell silent again. Several delegates checked their communication devices. Their faces showed shock, then anger, then fear. You are threatening the council. The blue-skinned humanoid demanded. I know, Young Mi said. We are demonstrating capability. There is a difference. We could have destroyed Commander Krell's fleet. We did not. We could have invaded council space with overwhelming force. We did not. We showed restraint and offered dialogue. She walked to the center of the chamber, her footsteps echoing in the silence. The question is not what we want. The question is whether the council can accept that humanity is your equal. The Gentari delegate, the Ancient One, finally spoke. Its voice was like wind through old trees. I warned this council 20 years ago. I said the humans were dangerous. Not because they were violent, but because they were patient. I watched them sit and listen while you insulted them. I watched them learn from every word you spoke. And I knew that one day they would surprise you. You knew? The council leader asked. Why did you not warn us? I did warn you. You did not listen. The young species never listened to the old ones. Another elder species delegate spoke up. This one looked like a living crystal, reflecting light in rainbow patterns. We also suspected the humans were more than they appeared. Their questions were too intelligent. Their observations too precise. But we said nothing because it was amusing to watch the council underestimate them. So you let this happen? The insect delegate buzzed furiously. We let nature take its course, the crystal being replied. The council has grown arrogant. You needed this lesson. Day one let the elder species speak. They were helping humanity's case more than any speech he could give. Sometimes the best strategy was silence. Young me took control again. Earth proposes a new relationship with the council. We will share some of our innovations in exchange for full membership rights. We will participate in council decisions. We will contribute to galactic security. But we will not accept oversight or restrictions. And if we refuse? The reptilian delegate asked. Jin-Ho smiled his gentle smile. Then we remain independent. We close our borders. We keep our technology to ourselves. And in 50 years, perhaps less, humanity will have expanded to 100 systems while the council remains stagnant. It was not a threat. It was a prediction. And everyone in the chamber knew it was accurate. The council leader looked around at thousands of delegates. Some showed anger. Others showed fear. A few showed respect. The council will need time to discuss these proposals, it said. Of course, Daewon replied. We are patient. We have waited 20 years. We can wait a little longer. But as he said it, Sunhee's communication device buzzed. She glanced at it, and her expression hardened. She whispered something to Daewon. Daewon's face remained calm, but his eyes showed anger. He turned back to the council leader. Although I should inform you that we have just received intelligence. A coalition of 7 species has hired mercenaries to attack human colony ships currently traveling to a nearby system. The attack is planned for 3 days from now. The chamber exploded in noise again. The council leader's appendages writhed in fury. To authorize this? It demanded. No one answered, but several delegates suddenly found the floor very interesting to look at. Hiram stepped forward, her voice cold. This is your answer? While we negotiate, you plan murder? The council did not authorize this. The crystal being said, this is the action of fools who fear change. Regardless, Daewon said. Earth will respond. Our ships are already moving to intercept. And I promise you, if one human colonist dies because of this cowardly attack, there will be consequences. Young Mi's voice cut through the chaos. This is exactly why we need a new system. The current council cannot control its own members. It cannot prevent aggression. It cannot maintain order. She pulled out a document and projected it for everyone to see. Earth proposes a reformed council, one based on merit and mutual respect, not on age and arrogance. Species earn their place through contribution, not conquest. Disputes are resolved through dialogue, not force. And any species that attacks another without provocation faces immediate sanctions. You want to change a system that has existed for 10,000 years? The insect delegate asked. Yes, Young Mi said simply, because your system is broken. And everyone in this chamber knows it. Several delegates nodded, mostly younger species who had joined the council recently. They had seen the same arrogance humanity experienced. The Jantari delegate stood slowly. I support Earth's proposal. It is time for change. The crystal being also stood.
Agreed.
The old ways have made the council weak. One by one, other delegates stood. Not all of them, but enough. The council was dividing right before everyone's eyes. Daewon watched with satisfaction. The seeds they had planted were growing. Change was coming whether the council wanted it or not. The council leader raised its appendages for silence. This session is adjourned. All proposals will be reviewed, and those responsible for the mercenary attack will be identified and punished. As delegates filed out, many of them approached the human delegation. Some offered support. Others asked questions about human technology. A few even apologized for past insults. Sun He leaned close to Day One. Our fleet will reach the colonists in 2 days. We will stop the attack. I know you will, Day One said. And when you do, the entire galaxy will be watching. The council had crossed the line of insult. Now they would learn the cost of underestimating humanity. 6 months had passed since the confrontation at the council. The galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The council chamber looked the same. Everything else was different. G1 stood at the speaker's platform, no longer the quiet note-taker in the back. She was now Earth's primary ambassador, and when she spoke, the entire council listened. Her voice carried confidence that came from knowing her words mattered. The council recognizes Ambassador G1 of Earth, the council leader announced. Around the chamber, delegates from hundreds of worlds watched her, some with respect, others with resentment, but all with attention. Humanity could no longer be ignored. Today I present a trade agreement between Earth, the Giantari Collective, and the Maratan Federation. This agreement benefits all 3 species and establishes new shipping routes through previously disputed space. She pulled up a hologram showing the routes and resources. The proposal was detailed, fair, and profitable for everyone involved. It was exactly the kind of cooperation the council claimed to support. Any objections? The council leader asked. The reptilian delegate shifted in his seat but said nothing. The insect delegate buzzed quietly but did not speak. The blue-skinned humanoid stared at the humans with barely hidden anger but remained silent. The proposal passes, the council leader announced. G1 nodded and returned to her seat. Next to her, Daewon smiled slightly. These small victories were adding up. Earth was no longer asking for a place at the table. They had taken it in deep space. Far from any planet, Wu Jin led a patrol of mixed human and alien ships. His wingman was a Jantari pilot named Sethril. They had been flying together for 3 months and had become friends. Contact ahead. Sethril's voice came through the communication system. Looks like a disabled freighter. Wu Jin checked his sensors. The ship was Korath, one of the species that had hired mercenaries to attack Earth's colonists 6 months ago. That attack had failed spectacularly. Human forces had captured the mercenaries without a single casualty, human or mercenary. Should we assist? Sethril asked. Wu-Jin thought about it. The Korath government had apologized after the mercenary incident. They claimed it was not an official action. Most people did not believe them, as Wu Jin said. We help everyone. That's what makes us different. They approached the disabled ship and offered assistance. The Korath crew was surprised but grateful. While Wu Jin's engineers helped repair their engines, the Korath captain approached him. Why help us? The captain asked. My species tried to kill your colonists. Your government tried, Wu Jin corrected. You are just trying to deliver cargo. There is a difference. The Korath captain was quiet for a moment. You are not what we were told humans would be like. What were you told? That you were dangerous, aggressive, violent. Wu Jin laughed. We are dangerous when threatened. But we prefer to be helpful. It is easier and makes more friends. After the repairs were complete, the Korath ship continued on its way. But word spread. The humans could have left them stranded, could have demanded payment or favors. Instead, they helped for free. These small actions were changing opinions across the galaxy. Back at the council station, Young Mi was meeting with delegates from 12 different species. They gathered in a conference room to discuss the proposed reforms to the council structure. The current system gives too much power to the oldest species, a delegate from a younger world said. They make decisions that affect us without asking our opinion, agreed, said another. Earth's proposal for merit-based representation makes sense. Species should be judged by what they contribute, not how long they have been in space. Not everyone agreed. A Vethric delegate shook his 6 arms in frustration. You want to destroy 10,000 years of tradition. The elder species have wisdom that young species lack. Young me spoke calmly. Wisdom is valuable, but so is innovation. Earth does not suggest removing elder species from the council. We suggest giving younger species an equal voice. Everyone benefits when all perspectives are heard. The Gentari delegate, ancient and wise, nodded slowly. The human speaks truth. We elders have made many mistakes because we stopped listening to new ideas. Change is necessary. The meeting continued for hours. Not everyone agreed on everything, but progress was being made. The council was slowly reforming, whether the old guard wanted it or not, in Earth's solar system. Kyung-ho walked through the underground research facility with a group of alien scientists. They had come to learn about human medical technology. Earth had developed treatments for 3 diseases that affected multiple alien species. Why share this? A Maratan scientist asked. You could charge billions for these treatments. Good, Kyung-ho agreed. But healing people is more important than profit. Besides, when we share knowledge, others share with us. Everyone benefits. The alien scientists looked at each other. This was not how the galaxy usually worked. Most species guarded their advantages jealously. But humanity was different. They shared freely and asked others to do the same. It was revolutionary. A year ago, these same aliens would have laughed at human medicine. Now they were here to learn from it. The shift in perception was remarkable. At the council station, Da-Won sat in what used to be his small quarters, but was now a proper ambassador's suite. He was reading reports when Taeyong's face appeared on his communication screen. The fleet expansion is complete, Taeyong reported. We now have presence in 47 systems. All defensive positions, as agreed. Any conflicts? None. Most species are being cooperative. A few are testing our boundaries, but nothing serious. Daewon nodded. Good. Remember, we are not conquerors. We are partners. But it is tempting sometimes. Some of these species are still hostile, which is why we must be better than them. We win by being trustworthy, not by being feared. After the call ended, Daewon walked to his window. The view showed the council station orbiting its green planet. Somewhere down there, people lived under council protection. They seemed happy. Maybe the council was not all bad. They had made mistakes, shown arrogance, and needed reform. But they had also maintained peace for thousands of years. That was worth something, the door chimed. Sunhee entered, along with Hiram and Ji-won. The council is ready to vote on the reforms, Ji-won said. They want you present. Daewon stood and straightened his suit. Then let us not keep them waiting. They walked together to the council chamber. Other delegates nodded in greeting. Some smiled. Others looked away, but no one laughed anymore. No one made jokes about primitive humans. Earth had earned respect the hard way, through patience, preparation, and proving themselves when challenged. The council leader called the session to order. Today, we vote on the proposed reforms to council structure. Ambassador Ji-won will present the final version. Ji-won stood at the center platform. She looked confident and capable. Behind her, a hologram displayed the reforms in simple terms. The reformed council will maintain all existing members, but add representation for younger species based on contribution rather than age. Disputes will be handled by neutral mediators. Military action requires unanimous agreement, and most importantly, all species, regardless of age or power, have equal voice. She paused and looked around the chamber. This is not about humans gaining power. This is about making the council what it claims to be, a place where all species work together for mutual benefit. The vote was called. Daewon watched as hands, tentacles, and appendages rose throughout the chamber. Not everyone voted yes, but the majority did. The reforms passed. The council leader made the announcement official. The council has voted to accept the proposed reforms. Implementation will begin immediately. Daewon felt a weight lift from his shoulders. 20 years of quiet observation, months of tension and conflict, and now, finally, change. After the session, many delegates approached the human group. Some wanted to discuss trade. Others asked about technology sharing. A few simply wanted to say thank you. The reptilian delegate, who had been so hostile, approached Day One. "I was wrong about your species," he admitted. "I thought you were dangerous." "We are dangerous," Day One replied, "but only to those who threaten us. I understand that now. My species would like to open diplomatic relations with Earth. It would be honored." As the delegate walked away, Sun-He leaned close to Day One. "Who would have thought? 6 months ago, they wanted to control us. Now they want to be friends." "People change when they see the truth," Day One said. "We showed them who we really are. Not conquerors or victims. Just humans who want to be treated fairly." In the following weeks, human influence spread throughout the galaxy. Human music played in alien bars. Human art was displayed in museums. Human philosophy was studied in universities. More importantly, human values began to influence galactic culture. The idea that helping others was better than exploiting them, that sharing knowledge benefited everyone, that respect should be earned through action. It's not demanded through power. It was slow change, but it was real. One evening, G1 stood in the observation deck of the council station. Earth was visible in the distance, a small blue dot among billions of stars. She thought about how far humanity had come 20 years ago. They had arrived at the station as quiet observers, unsure of their place in the galaxy. Now they were leaders, teachers, and partners. Wujin joined her, fresh from a patrol. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said, looking at Earth. Guan agreed. "And it's ours. No one can take that from us now." "Do you think they ever really could have?" G1 smiled. "No. Humans are too stubborn to be controlled. We just needed time to show the galaxy who we are." Far away, in the underground facility on Earth, Kuncho and his team continued working on new technologies. Not weapons, but tools for exploration, healing, and building. Humanity had proven they could fight. Now they were proving they could create, and across the galaxy. In 1,000 different systems, other species were learning from Earth's example. The quiet species that stayed silent for 20 years had taught the galaxy its most important lesson. Respect is not given, it is earned. And patience is the strongest weapon of all.